Yelena Belova, a trained Black Widow assassin, stealthily breaks into a high-security facility. Using her expert combat skills, she takes down every guard in her path. Inside the lab, the lead scientist pulls a gun on her, but she turns the situation around and ends up choking him. He accidentally kills himself in the struggle. As she leaves, she activates a hidden bomb and calls Valentina, saying the mission is done. Meanwhile, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, a CIA director and contessa, is in court, facing impeachment for illegal operations, including trying to secretly create her own superhero. After the hearing, she orders her assistant Mel to destroy any evidence, whether files or people, including her own Shadow Ops team. Elsewhere, Red Guardian, Yelena's father, quickly cleans his house when she visits. They talk about life, and Yelena reveals she wants to quit working for Valentina. Red Guardian, still longing for his glory days, is shocked. He would do anything to work for Valentina again. Yelena later calls Valentina, saying she'll take one last mission, but wants to be recognized as a real hero afterward. Valentina agrees a bit too easily. Yelena's next mission is to infiltrate a warehouse and secretly follow a rogue operative to find out what they're trying to steal, then kill them. Inside, she uncovers damning evidence against Valentina. Suddenly, she's attacked by John Walker, a US agent and super soldier. They fight, but he says she is his target. As he's about to finish her, Taskmaster shows up, claiming Walker is her target. Then Ava Starr, Ghost, joins the chaos, targeting Taskmaster. All three were sent by Valentina to kill each other. After a brutal fight, Ava shoots Taskmaster. Suddenly, a countdown starts. A strange man named Bob emerges from a box, just as the facility begins to shut down. At a charity event, Valentina tries to distract the public, but Congressman Gary isn't fooled. Bucky Barnes tries to convince Mel to walk away from Valentina, but she refuses, though he gives her his number, just in case. Back in the warehouse, Bob tells the operatives they were all set up. Valentina had pitted them against each other to cover her tracks and avoid impeachment. They try to escape, but find they're trapped by a sound barrier. Mel reports the facility is locked down, and Valentina tells her to destroy it. The countdown starts. Ghost finds the control for the barrier, and John smashes it, letting her phase through the wall. She opens the door for the others, and they all escape just before the bomb goes off. Yelena briefly recalls a dark memory when she betrayed her sister Anya to join the Red Room. Mel informs Valentina that the operatives escaped and may now be working together. Valentina laughs it off, calling them losers. But when shown a video of the group, she spots Bob and becomes suspicious. She orders Mel to find out how he got in, and to send the Bull Strike team to capture them. Red Guardian, now their driver, overhears everything. Inside, John pressures Bob to explain how he got in, but Bob doesn't know. He mocks John for being a fake Captain America, and John slams him into the wall. Yelena breaks up the fight, and John accidentally busts a hole in the wall, giving them an escape route. At home, Bucky gets a call from Mel. She now knows how dangerous Valentina is, but won't testify. She's afraid no one can protect her. Meanwhile, the team escapes, only to face an even bigger threat ahead. John tries to leap up the vault, but falls. Bob suggests they climb together, back to back. Holding each other tightly, they slowly ascend. Though the climb is long and exhausting, they push on. Meanwhile, Mel shares new info with Valentina. Bob is the last survivor of the Sentry project, and if the data is true, he might be the strongest human alive. John reaches the top first and helps the others up. But as he grabs Bob's hand, he's suddenly pulled into Bob's memory, witnessing his most traumatic moment. Yelena snaps him out of it, asking why he's staring at the vault. They check outside and realize they're surrounded by Valentina's men. Yelena quickly plans an escape, unaware Ava has already left. Still, she moves forward. Valentina arrives to oversee the mission and warns the troops to use non-lethal force. The door explodes, and the first strike team enters. John takes them all down alone. As the second team charges in, Yelena and Bob hide. Yelena knocks out guards, protecting Bob, believing he's too weak to fight. They nearly shoot John by accident, but soon disguise themselves as soldiers and sneak out. Ava picks them up in a stolen van, but they're stopped by more troops. Ava disappears. John tries to talk his way out, but the soldiers don't buy it. Bob draws their attention by firing into the air. The team escapes while Bob is shot repeatedly. To everyone's shock, Bob stands up unharmed and blasts into the sky, then faints and crash lands back at the facility. Valentina watches, stunned. Later, Yelena shows a note from the vault revealing Bob is an experiment gone wrong, explaining his powers. The next morning, Val supervises his transfer to a new lab at the old Avengers Tower, now called Watchtower. She tells Mel to eliminate Yelena, John, and Ava, her last loose ends. Wandering the desert, the team sees a limo. It's Red Guardian, who overheard Val's plan and came to help. Inside, he's thrilled to wear his suit again and suggests a name for the team. Thunderbolts, inspired by Yelena's childhood soccer team. He urges them to stick together and be heroes. Suddenly, Valentina's convoy attacks. John shields the team, while Red Guardian tries and fails to activate the car's defenses. Ghost attempts to strike, but is stopped by a sound barrier. Yelena takes out one convoy with a single shot. Then, a surprise bomb hits another vehicle. It's Bucky Barnes. Bucky wrecks the final convoy with a rope and a punch. The team celebrates, unaware Bucky is after them too. At Watchtower, Bob wakes up in isolation with Valentina beside him. She introduces herself and acts friendly, calling him special. But when she touches him, she's pulled into a painful memory of her father's murder. Shocked, she leaves and tells Mel to prep a press conference and build a kill switch for Bob, just in case. Meanwhile, Bucky captures the Thunderbolts and plans to use them in Valentina's impeachment trial. They explain how she tried to kill them and took control of Bob for her own agenda. Mel calls Bucky and warns him. Val is too dangerous to be trusted with his Sentry project. Convinced, Bucky frees the team and asks for their help to rescue Bob. They agree, seeing a chance for redemption, especially Red Guardian, who is overjoyed. Valentina catches Mel betraying her. Furious, she warns her that the world doesn't reward loyalty, it punishes weakness. Valentina worked to help Bob control his powers. After a few trials, he shattered a glass just by willing it. She told him that was just the beginning, that his potential was limitless. Suddenly, Bucky rammed a van through the Watchtower, leading the Thunderbolts in an all-out assault. They took down every guard in their path. But just as they reached Valentina, she welcomed them, unfazed. She revealed she let them in. They surrounded her, but before Bucky could act, Bob, now known as Sentry, blocked him. Valentina had turned him into an unstoppable superhuman. She planned for the press to witness Sentry defeating the Thunderbolts, framing them as rogue criminals brought to justice. Yelena pleaded with Bob, but he was too far gone. Red Guardian attacked first. Sentry swatted him away effortlessly. One by one, the Thunderbolts charged, only to be crushed. Even Bucky, the last man standing, had his vibranium arm burned off and was knocked out cold. The team fled, barely alive. Valentina ordered Sentry to finish them, but he refused. They weren't a threat. The Thunderbolts regrouped, desperate, but Yelena lost hope and told them they'd already lost. They all went their separate ways. Sentry then turned on Valentina. Realizing her betrayal, he slammed her into a wall and nearly killed her, until Mel activated a kill switch, paralyzing him instantly. She helped Valentina up, smugly asking for a raise. But the kill switch triggered something worse. The Void was unleashed, Bob's destructive alter ego. Rising into the sky, he turned agents to shadow. Helicopters opened fire, but were no match. Everyone inside turned to Void, crashing to the ground. New York City descended into chaos. The Thunderbolts returned, not to fight, but to save people. Red Guardian and Yelena rescued civilians. Even the losers became heroes. The city applauded them for their bravery. But just as hope returned, the Void darkened everything, turning people into shadows and swallowing the entire city in supernatural darkness. Yelena realized the only way to stop this was to reach Bob. She entered the Shadow Realm, confronting her own childhood trauma and painful memories. Trapped in nightmare loops, she finally found Bob through a mirror and convinced him to talk. Bob told her he wasn't in control, it was the Void. Suddenly, the darkness attacked them both. Yelena was nearly killed, until the Thunderbolts showed up to help. They traveled into Bob's worst memory, the beginning of his experimentation. There, they found the Void waiting. He attacked, capturing each member one by one, until only Bob was left. Bob fought the Void in a brutal battle and was losing, until Yelena, nearly dying, reached out to him. Her words reminded him he wasn't alone. The others broke free and joined in, helping him overpower the darkness. Together, they pulled Bob back from the edge. Light returned, and New York was saved. But Bob had no memory of anything that had happened. The Thunderbolts decided to kill Valentina, but she lured them into a press conference. In front of the world, she announced the birth of a new Avengers, with herself as the mastermind. The Thunderbolts stood shocked, helpless against the lies. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Cheers.